Thanks to the supporters of channel member Bentai. Well then, boys and girls, after yesterday's transfer window, we have the smallest squad we've ever had, and we're still over our wage budget. If we make it out of this league this year, it's a miracle. If we don't make it out of this league this year, it's a disaster. It sounds like there's gangs circling around me as well outside, trying to make sure we do go up. That was a revving motorcycle going past my house. How very intimidating. Hello and welcome to part 31 of Bourne in the USA. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our first two games of the new season for you. We're going to be away against Boston City. We'll play the cup game off camera, and we'll play the Core Valley game as well. Try and get a little bit of a feel for where we stand in the Central Premier League this season. See, the fact it's got Premier League in the title, let's just pretend we're not in Tier 8. This is the pinnacle. We're just trying to win it. That's all it is. This is as good as it gets. I promise. Yesterday's transfer window was very uneventful, and we are trying to bring in a player. We're trying to get rid of a player, but at the moment, there's been very little in or out, and we're over our wage budget, so there's not really much else we can do either, but we will potentially disregard the wage budget, even though it's the one thing that I've been asked to do: repair the club's financial damage, work within the wage budget. I've already failed at repairing the damage, and apparently we're on course to be within the wage budget, even though we're over it. So interesting to see how much wiggle room I get before they start to get upset about me being over the wage budget. Clearly £100 a week is okay. So let's push to 200 and see what happens. So first game of the season, this is the team we're putting out there. The big headline news, I guess, is even with all of the players leaving and the tiny squad, Jackson Hernandez, the man who got 41 goals in this league just 2 years ago, 24 goals last year, is starting the season as our backup striker. Stephen Stone has done a little bit of a Mick Powell over the summer. He's now considered a 3-star striker as well. He's also been around for even longer than Hernandez has. So we're going with Stone and the other Hernandez up front to start this new season, with new boy David Fava as our other good attacking option. I actually think our front four and first reserve up front, those 5 attacking players, might just be enough on their own to get us out of this league. And with new club captain Jeff Brook still alongside Sullivan at the back, with new goalkeeper Buckner, we're in the same situation we've been in for years. We're good at the back. We've got a good little triangle here, but the fullbacks and the midfielders are absolute turd, and we're just going to have to try and get around that somehow. I mean, Sam Williams has been playing for us as a winger for the last 3 years, and now he's our new central midfielder. He's our new playmaker in midfield. And Briones, as much as we love him, he's our all-time record appearance holder. He's a 1.5-star current ability player who's now played about 150 games for the club. It's fine. We're fine. So that team officially is Buckner in goal, a back four of Nice, Sullivan, Brook and Cullen, Williams and Briones in midfield, Fava and Huyan out wide, and then Stone and Jorge Hernandez up front. I've just realised I haven't set up my set piece takers, so let me just get all these on. In fact, I've not done anything for set pieces. Give me a second. I'm just going to figure out the set pieces. Right, set piece instructions done. Hopefully Jeff Brook continues to be the same threat from those that he was last season. We just need to give a squad number to our 15-year-old striker who doesn't even have any yellow stars for current ability. That's how desperate things are getting for us. And fingers crossed we can pick up a win. Boston City are newly promoted. I think they're a team that we've mixed it up with at various other points in the save, and they've now caught up with us. But as a newly promoted side facing a team that's been in the playoffs the last 2 years, you would expect a comfortable victory for us today. Anything other than that, and we are going to have another problematic season. But I'm hoping we can return to the form from 2 years ago. Obviously, the second half of last season, we were a very good side as well. We just had a horrible first half of the season. If we can play all year the way we played in the second half of last year, or even the way we played the season before that, we'll go up, because the team that finished second the year that Charlotte Academy were in the league, that would have won the league last year, even though it was roughly the same league that did, the same team that didn't. But this is a much, much weaker league now than it was when we arrived in it 2 years ago. We've got to win it this year. Playoffs, forget them. Let's go up as champions. Cross comes in looking for Hernandez and can't find him. And now it's, who is that in midfield? Williams finds Briones, who shoots from wide, from long out, far away, long shoot. Hernandez with the corner, looking for Sullivan and Brook, who are both lurking at the near post as ever. But Huyan picks it up on the edge of the area, and that is a very promising sign that Huyan has decided to turn up again this year. Instrumental in the team that nearly got there 2 years ago. Absolute poppycock last year. And hopefully this year we've got the real Huyan back again. Lovely finish. Lovely goal. Boston 0, Bourne 1. It's like a proper Lincolnshire derby, but in America. And as it stands right now, it puts us to second in the league, behind the Lansdowne Yonkers. Obviously, it's the first day of the season. We don't read too much into it, but we would like to score enough goals to be top of the league. We want to go top of the league now and relentlessly never let it go over the course of the entire season. Our first year in this league, I think we started with 12 wins on the bounce, and then managed to lose to Charlotte. I'm probably creating a new narrative there. I think we actually lost to someone else before Charlotte, but we were going win for win with them for a long, long time. They're now up in Tier 6, having won the Tier 7 playoffs last year. So they're, considering we weren't a million miles behind them 2 years ago, they're now charging forward in their own road to glory. Stone shoots from just inside the area and grabs his first goal of the season as he emphasises why he's been selected ahead of Jackson Hernandez. He's the top scoring striker at the club currently. That's Stephen Stone. Who'd have thought? It's a lovely ball from Hernandez. Stone picks it up just outside the area, takes a touch, and then hits it relatively comfortably past the goalkeeper. We're playing good football again. We look like a good team again. Let's just avoid those horrible, horrible playoffs this year. Brook, what a dominant header from Brook, just in the wrong direction. And Hernandez picks it up again from the clearance, plays it back to Williams. We're looking for a lot from Williams this year. Like I say, he's been playing as a winger for 3 years. And now just to say to him, right, you're our playmaker in midfield now, is asking a lot. But hopefully the front four will deliver enough for the midfield to not matter. That's kind of been our policy throughout our promotion seasons in this save so far. We've never had much of a midfield. Even in our first year, we had old man Atencio in there, 44 years old. Central midfielders seem like they're a problem in America. So let's just ignore them, lump the ball forward to our front four and keep scoring goals. Jorge Hernandez has definitely read that script. And we're 3-0 up at half time. And this is so much more like what I thought last season was going to be. Oh, my word. But is that our former goalkeeper Diallo in goal for them, I wonder? We might have to check in on that after the game, because we had a 15-year-old goalkeeper or a 16-year-old goalkeeper called Diallo in our first season, if I remember rightly. He might have made it all. He might have caught back up with us. Perhaps we never needed to let him go because he's now made it to this level. Huyan with the cross. Hernandez is there. It bounces back off the crossbar, and Boston desperately. That is Stefan Diallo. He's still only 19 years old. He played the full season for us back in that first year. Went to the Seacoast United Mariners for 3 years, and he's now at Boston City, all the way up at the giddy heights of Tier 8. Well done, Stefan Diallo, for making it to the big time, the Premier League, the Central Premier. These are important words. Central Premier Division. This is the big time. Forget Charlotte Academy and their Tier 6 nonsense. This is where it's at. This is where the cool kids hang. We're going to take off Williams and bring on Goncalves. Fava's going to come off for Jackson Hernandez. And I think, who can we put out on the left? Huyan can go out on the left. So we'll put Jorge out on the right, Huyan on the left. Hernandez can go up front alongside Stone. We're getting the band back together up front there. Hopefully Jackson Hernandez can weigh in with a goal as well and give me some selection problems. There were large spells of last year where nobody was really scoring. So if we can get to the point where Huyan, Stone and the Hernandez are all scoring goals, that's a lovely problem to have. Nice playing it forward, looking for Jackson Hernandez, who's clear here. He doesn't usually miss from this kind of range. He did that time because he's tried to lob it over Diallo, who looks like he's about 4 inches taller than he was when he played for us and isn't being lobbed from that kind of range. And now Jorge Hernandez playing out on the wing now. He's just going to run, plays it into Jackson, and he takes a touch, and the defender does well to come across and make the interception. I say the defender. He's got a number 7 on his back. So if he is a defender, I'm disgusted. The corner comes in. It's cleared as far as Briones, who I don't know what he was trying to do there. Let's assume he was trying to do that and it worked, because we're going to be positive about our players this year. Boston 0, Bourne 3 on the first day of the season. That'll do. That'll do nicely. More of that, please. Well, getting past Allentown United of the Eastern League in the FA Vars first round was interesting. 10 penalties each it took to get past them. Ridiculous. Maybe we're not as good as we seem to be on that first day of the season. Fingers crossed. That was just a blip, though. Slight change to the team for the game against Core Valley. We're moving Williams back out onto the left-hand side. Goncalves comes back into the midfield to give us a little bit more oomph in there. Otherwise, I think that is the rest of the same 11 as you saw in the first game of the season. I was going to say a little bit poor against Allentown. We were very, very poor against Allentown. And like I say, I hope it was more of a struggling to get motivated thing in a nothing competition against a nothing team, rather than the first day of the season was a bit of a fluke, because that would be disastrous if that's what it actually was. But 15 minutes into this game, and we've not had a shot on target yet, mind you, neither of the opposition. I vaguely recall Core Valley being quite good in previous seasons. They've been around at this level with us for a little while, so they're not getting relegated, so they can't be that bad. Williams with the free kick here, and Sullivan's in, and I'm not quite sure how you get yourself offside from a free kick like that. I'm sure we're going to look at it from the other angle. It's just sloppy getting offside from a free kick, but there's two of them. There's two of them who just don't understand the rules, which is just ridiculous. Oh, this team. So still no shots on target, no shots at all for Core Valley. So it's not all bad, I guess, but I would like a goal. We were just saying in the previous match how hopefully our front four would fire us to promotion without us having to worry about what's going on behind it. It almost seems the reverse of that so far. We've been defensively very solid in our first 2.5 games, but really struggled to get a breakthrough against Allentown in the FA Vars game. And now we're really, really struggling to get a breakthrough here. Jackson Hernandez is going to be back in this team sooner rather than later if things carry on as they are. Huyan playing it through to Williams, though. Williams to Jorge Hernandez. And although we're struggling for goals, he's scored in every game so far, as you would expect. 1-0 to Bourne. And that should put us back very close to the top of the league again, as we were at the start of this game. And that's, of course, where we want to stay. It's a decent finish from Hernandez, the Core Valley defender, doing his very best to get across and make the block, but couldn't quite get there. And we've got a free kick now with Briones, and Sullivan with the header this time that goes just over. Managed to keep himself onside this time, which is nice, but couldn't actually keep it on target. The Scott Gallagher Metro, St. Louis Scott Gallagher Metro, the early leaders here. We've come up against them before. I'm not sure if it was in this league last season or if it was in one of the previous seasons. I don't think they're one of the newly promoted sides, so they probably have been around for a bit. I just don't really remember playing them last year. Huyan with the header here to get his second goal in 2 league games and put us 2-0 up. And it is starting to look a little bit more comfortable again now. Goncalves is going to come off for Flores. We're going to take off Briones and bring Fava, not Flava. And swap those two around. And then we're going to bring on Hernandez for Stone. And this could end up being the starting 11 for the next game quite easily. Because Stone's doesn't really seem with it. He scored in that first game, but missed a penalty in the cup game and hasn't done anything at all today. So Jackson Hernandez could be back in, Fava could be back in, and this could easily be the midfield because like I say, we don't have a midfield. So we're trying to find a combination of what we have got that might work, and Flores and Williams might be that combination. Huyan now down the right-hand side. Cross comes over, looking for Hernandez, who gets there and scores. And it might have taken us a little while to get up and running in this game, but we are 3-0 up again, and it has been very comfortable in the end. Core Valley have not looked like getting anywhere near a goal in this game, and that is a very tasty little cross from Huyan. But it does need a player of the quality of Jorge Hernandez to be able to turn it in from such a tight angle. But of course, he did, because he's a superhero. And at 3-0, we end the episode 2 3-0 wins. You don't need to worry about what happened in the FA Vars. We'll call it a blip because league form everything is looking good, and that's all we're really worried about. We couldn't care less about the cups, apart from the whole financial thing. A cup run would be handy, but really, promotion is where it's at. So we're going to play through a bunch of league games. It's our third season at this level. I don't think we need to come back every 5 or 6 games. We might even go all the way through to the Rhode Island game, who are our pre-season title rivals. Go play Rhode Island and Beachside, who are one of the newly relegated clubs. So that looks like a nice little combo for tomorrow's episode. And hopefully we'll still be top of the league when we get to it. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.